when I started in this space, I started wholesaling my way to door knocking, going to auctions, and doing all these traditional things that people do in order to generate more opportunities of market deals. And I sometimes also would just do the driving for dollars in Detroit. And there's a lot of opportunity there, so it's very visual. But then I realized, too, like, in quote unquote, I'm someone that want to leverage myself with. I'm let's call it, I'm a lazy entrepreneur, but I'm not really lazy.
I think everyone's really, I mean, at the heart of it, if you don't have to work and have all the money you can afford, you don't want to work per se.
Yeah.
But you are not lazy. I know that for sure.
I'm not lazy. However, if I were to think of myself, like, if I can get 5 times the output by doing the same amount of input and just leverage something, right? Have some sort of lever where I put in this amount of effort and get 5 times what I want, instead of driving and getting the only 1 or 2 things, or going to auctions, getting 1 or 2 things or 2 outputs. How can I do that? And I started thinking about, hey, I know that technology is something that's always going to evolve. It's here to stay. And also, people are not doing this. So it's a huge open market for me to take advantage of that. So in Detroit, my first ever case study was working with a cash buyer that needed houses. And me as the mindset of how do I solve his problem and be in between that problem and solution so I can make some money. Well, I started telling him I can do this through Facebook ads. I can do this through Instagram ads. I had taken a course that have given me all the instructions on how to do that for e-commerce and how to do that for gym owners, real estate agents. And that gave me the idea of, like, I can help this cash buyer find houses that are distressed from motivated sellers through Facebook advertising as well. So one time I posted this in a Facebook group and I got a lot of comments. Hey, I know how to generate motivated sellers, and I do that through social media. People that are going to come to you instead of you having to convince them that they need to sell their house. They're already convinced. Who needs help? I'm willing to give 7-day trial. So with him, I set everything up and we did a 7-day trial because I knew I was going to work something out with him and upsell him down the road.
Sure.
This guy, in his first, I believe it was 6-7 months with me, he purchased 24 properties in Detroit just with $9,000 in ad spend.
So we all know in the KPI world of real estate, right, is cost per lead and then cost per deal. He spent a total of $9,000 total for ad spend. And he got 28 properties, he said, that he
24 properties.
24 properties that he bought or wholesale.
He acquired.
Wow.
The model was for him to sell it to Argentinian investors, international investors. He will get the markup, and also he would do property management for them.
So like sell a turnkey model.
Correct.
How much cost per deal was that? Spent $9,000 to $375 a deal.
This is ad spend. Obviously, I definitely...
Of course, and then you have an agency fee.
Yeah, then I charged him, like, at that time, it was like maybe... I think I was doing it for $1,200 to $1,500 a month.
At that time.
Which was good for me.
Now, that was a long time ago, everybody.
That was a long time ago.
It's not $1,200 now. But even then, just you and I know this, but for the sake of the listener, a true KPI right now, if you're getting a deal for $3,000 to $5,000 per deal, you're doing good. You feel good about your marketing. This guy was getting a deal for $375 plus so let's just round it up to, he was spending $500 per deal. I mean, that's insanity.
Yeah. Obviously, Detroit has very cheap houses too, and
sure,
and like the lower Simon fees or just lower, spread.
You don't make as much.
You don't make as much. You need to do a little bit more volume. But still, it was a good case study and a good concept for me to know that I can expand this to the entire U.S. and offer this as a solution.
Yeah.
But then I realized very, very quickly, dude, that first of all, we're not just an agency. We're not just lead gen. You don't come to us and just pay for the lead and we forget about you. Because in business, there is several things in order for you to continuously grow and get more clients. You get more clients, you get those clients to pay you more, and you get repeated customers from the same clients. So if I understand that, then what are the leverages? What are the things that I can pull in order to get them to pay more or get more out of the same client, get them to repeatedly pay me different times at different frequencies? Well, it comes down to what happens after the lead is generated, what happens during the entire process of the client itself. So that all comes down from generating marketing for them, but also closing that deal and learning how to get the most out of that one lead, right? So we started understanding very heavily, one, wholesalers not only have a lead generation problem, they have a sales and systems problem, right?
That's everything, marketing and sales.
Yeah, and so if I leave them by just sending them the lead, because I used to just send them a text message notification, do that. But then I started listening to my customers saying they're not picking up the phone, or there's guys asking me for something erratic or something crazy about the house. And I'm like, how do I solve that problem? And I started inserting different levers of technology and also people that I started to hire that eventually will help them get a hold of leads, convert more, have different exit strategies. So making money out of the same marketing, it's very important right now, because if you only focus, for example, on specializing in only wholesaling, but you realize that people in online, when they type in Google, I want to sell my house, cash for my house, how do I sell without a realtor? They have a motivation, not necessarily a distressed property.
Right.
And we capture motivation, we capture pain points, gaps in people with the message that we have. So it's how do we solve that problem? And we do that through proper sales skills. So if you don't have a sales process, you don't have a sales framework, you're not able to truly find a gap of the people that you're talking to. You're not able to fully empathize of what's happening and understand fully what they need and where they need to be at. You're not going to be able to find solutions, because you're going to be so focused on generating that lead, getting the discounted rate, 50, 60, 70%.
Yeah.
Right. And you're not going to make money out of that lead.
Yeah.
So now we turned into how do we help our clients even more? Now we're partners. So we partner up with them, and some of them actually, they also pay us in the back end after a lead is generated and after the lead is closed. But we have been able to actually hire remote Latinos, train them into to the entire process of how a wholesaling business works, what are the levers that they need to be able to pull, the skills that they need to learn, all the different exit strategies that they need to have right now.
Do they actually negotiate a deal with sellers at this point? Do you have that?
No, we teach them how to do that, or we help them
You teach the client how to do that?
Correct.
Got it.
So you see,
So it's not a total done-for-you service.
is it done for you with a little bit done with you?
done
program.
with you as much as done for you up until it's kind of done with you to help them contact.
That is correct. So that's what I was telling you this morning, man. I walked in with my mind blown up, and I'm like, I've been calling myself agency for a long time.
Yeah.
But in people's mind, an agency is just a service. Like, how do we position ourselves to be something that we actually are, which is something better, more added value, more of a partner, right? So we realize that we help them with lead generation. We help them with getting a hold of the leads, manage those leads, insert technology. We help them with training them on the specific skill sets that they need.
Yeah.
So I believe they need sales skills, right?
Yeah.
And they need to be able to just fully evolve as a business owner. And to evolve as a business owner, you need to leverage people, right? So this is something from the book Almanac of Naval. I don't know, have you ever read it?
I have not.
So he talks about, in a portion of it, he's actually the founder of Angel List. He talks about 4 different levers and skills that entrepreneurs need to actually pull and use and amplify it. And that will literally build multi-million-dollar businesses. That one is capital, labor, technology or code, and media. So right now with this company that we have, which is Hustle Media, and now we have a community called REIpreneurs, we're pulling two of these levers right away. The media part, which we're making our clients go and do video and ultimately show themselves as this authority in the market that they can buy houses. They're cash buyers, they're wholesalers, flippers. And so that's one lever that we're pulling. And now we're using technology to distribute this message through Facebook, through Google platforms like YouTube, Google retargeting and PPC as well. And also we're doing TikTok, which is crazy that it works.
That it works. That is the newest found. I have a couple members that are doing really, really well on TikTok.
Yeah. Do you think I would?
I mean, if there's any takeaway right now for someone on this episode, right now, TikTok ads work to find motivated sellers.
They do.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's because TikTok has become a place that now has SEO, which so that means that people now go search for topics, for things. And TikTok has done such a great job of making people search for things, for education, for learning new things, for entertainment, that now it's more and more older people that are in our avatar space and for motivated sellers are going to go there and spend some time in TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you're able to capture them when they're doing something or searching for something, and you say that you can buy their house, that there's an opportunity to work with a real estate investor, you're going to capture them in the right moment. So, and it's also cheaper right now than any other one because, it's not as saturated with a lot of advertisers.
Yeah.
And also it's more of a newer thing. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So yeah, going back to the levers, man, we help them become better business owners by doing things for them and also guiding them. Yeah. So the first lever, I believe that I said was capital and labor.
Yeah.
So we know we need labor. In the US, no one really wants to work really, really hard. It's rare. That's why, finding talent is such a high level skill.
That's right.
It's such a thing that you need to continuously do as a founder. Now we do that for them. We find A players in Latin America. So now your wholesaling business that is bootstrap, you use your own money, or you start working with free resources at first, can afford something like that. But not only that, it can also help you amplify. It can help you grow. We have hired leaders in our company from Latin America, and I'm so confident about that, dude, that I can tell you, you can fully replace your operations manager with a Mexican operations manager, and it will do laps around your American hire. Obviously not everyone, but 100%. They're coming with work ethic. They come in with the ability to learn and grasp everything. They study, went to school, are willing to do everything that it takes, have an amazing English. Some people speak even better than me. Yeah. Now we're going to insert in this person and insert into the service. And now we became this full stack agency / accelerator.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
So when do you think real estate investors should be hiring VAs? Like what phase? Like, do you believe even when they're just getting started before they've gotten a deal, do you think they should be at a certain point? When should people be hiring? It depends
on how leveraged. Honestly, a real estate investor should be hiring a VA based on how leveraged they want to be at the beginning and how much business acumen you have. Because if you see the biggest companies in the world, they always hire top down. They raise a lot of capital, and they hire people that already know how to build teams, already know how to build entire departments. They grow really, really fast because they're leveraging and then these people are leveraging themselves too, and they grow really fast. But a bootstrap wholesaling company, usually it's not that way. But if you, for example, come in as a flipper and you have a lot of experience as a flipper, you potentially want to hire some sort of leader that can help you build, business things, operational things that you could do that. But if you're a wholesaler, just, started watching YouTube videos a few months ago and you're doing it, cold calling, or you're doing your driving for dollars, you may want to hire when you get at 70, 80% capacity of what you can do in a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have to learn how to clean the floors of your studio or of your place in order to know how everything works.
Right.
Right. So you have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to call these people, generate the leads. You have to learn the grind. Because you don't have the knowledge. You don't have the luxury.
You need to do it all first before you go hire.
100%.
I'm 100% with you. I don't think anyone should. VA, inexpensive or expensive, you shouldn't be hiring until you know how to do it. Because the challenge becomes, here's what I see the challenge when people hire VAs, not just your company, but any VA. They just assume once they are trained, you just let the VA do their thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think that's crazy. Even when VA companies will say, hey, we have a manager to help you. You still have to stay on top of the manager to make sure that they're hitting their KPIs and that the calls are being measured, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, too many people in our space, they think once they hire, they're done. They can take the day off. Yeah. They can go wherever, and they've scaled their company. It's just not true. You still need management of it.
One of the biggest things that people do wrong in wholesaling is that they don't really treat it like an actual, I'm going to say like an actual business. You're coming to a business and you're not treating it like an actual business. So what does that mean? So when you implement systems in place, you start building a business. But when you want to grow, you want to scale, you start hiring people. But in order to hire people, you have to have a system, a set of expectations for them to come in. Just imagine yourself, let's say you don't have experience in wholesaling, but you have experience in other areas, industries. And you go and apply to work at a wholesale company. And the wholesale company comes in and says hi to you, tells you, welcome to the company, this is what we do, this is what you got to do. And then after that, doesn't talk to you but like one time a week or something like that. Thinking that you have experience, thinking that you can, build different things yourself, you probably will try your best. But how would you feel if you come in and there's only dust? There is no role descriptions, description of your job. There is no playbook to follow. There's no daily training. There is no real North Star that will make me work hard. There's no way to follow a leader because the leader is not leading. It's just thinking that I'm a service.
That's right.
Right. And so a lot of people lack leadership, and that's part of it. You have to be given your team time to develop, and even when they're already developed, you have to make sure that you inspect what the work is done, measure their KPIs, keep them accountable, keep training them, always realign the North Star, and do that every single day. And then at some point, you're going to be leveraged good enough by hiring someone that will do that for you. But at the very beginning, when you're hiring people, it doesn't matter if they're in Africa, Madagascar. I don't care if they're from India. I don't care if they're from here. I don't care if they're Canadian, which they're really nice people, but they can't close as much. No, I'm kidding. I don't care where they're from. They will need that.
People think to scale a business, you hire and you exit, right? You don't have to work anymore. And it's an epidemic in our space of real estate investing is whether it's VAs, whether it's in-house, personnel that you hire in-house, people think you hire and you're out. And it's just not the case. And I see it time and time again with all the coaching students that I have is they'll go to a company like yours or a VA company and say, hey, I hired 1 or 2 VAs. They're going to handle these things. And I say, okay, well, how many calls a week are you going to have with them? Well, we're going to have a once a call a week with them. And I'm like, once a week? So if you had an office and you had that same employee physically in your office, how many times would you meet with that employee? Yeah. You only meet once a week? Yeah. Well, no. Well, how many times would you meet with them? Probably every day or at least every other. Well, then that's how often you need to meet with your VAs, because if you don't, you're going to let the ball fall through the cracks, right? And people have this thing of hiring and trying to escape the grind, and I get it. But there's no real scaling a business until you're scale at the macro, like really high. We're talking about like VC companies and companies that are going and going for exits. Like that can scale, and that's where you kind of get bought out of your role. But until that, even the CEO has to manage the managers. Oh, yeah. Right? 100%. And it doesn't remove you from work.
Yeah. I think one of the things is that the way that education is coming into the space in the last 5 years, the biggest gurus at some point they were selling, their unique selling proposition was you're going to be able to make money, automate your business, and forget about it. Essentially, that was the message, right? You're going to be able to use wholesaling as a vehicle to start investing into real estate, and then you're going to become a real estate investor full time, and wholesaling it's just going to be an automated agency, or it's going to be an automated company. It's going to just be there, right?
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about it. But that's because that unique selling proposition is just their marketing in order to get them into their program, or in order to get them excited about this. And we need real business people, like people like you, for example. We need real business people that are going to tell them how 100% hard it is. But obviously the rewards, if you want to achieve the rewards of true financial freedom, of true time freedom, of true leverage, of true impacting people, then these are the things that need to be happening. The day-to-day work, learning how to leverage yourself, learning the skills, putting in the grind for 2 to 3 years until you're able to fully hire a leadership team, and then potentially still like remove yourself. Like right now, we are it's 1 p.m.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about my clients. I don't have to worry about closing deals. I don't have to worry about certain things. I only talk with my leadership team and my executive assistant from Colombia, and my leadership team from Latin America, US. I have a bunch of different people around the world, and I'm already leveraged, right? And the business is making money, and I'm able to now invest my time and money into another company like Remote Latinos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continuously do that over and over. But the reward will come once you do the things and understand the things. And I want to say this, like, people need to model, not people at the top. Yes, they need to model people at the top, but they need to model people that are at the top on their way up. So what they did to climb is what they need to model.
Right. The people at the top are already at the top. Right.
People at the top are already
a lot of model. But the question I would actually say, and I'm very curious to hear your answer, AI is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right. The service industry, to my knowledge, is going to get hit the hardest. Do you see that to be a big problem for you with all the AI in there and the communication now that can happen with bots? Do you feel like your industry, to some extent, like, is at risk?
As an agency or a wholesale, like?
As an agency, so VAs as a whole, a lot of times in our space of real estate investing are used to communicate with sellers.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Now, I actually advise my students use VAs for the tasks and have my students handle all communication with sellers, right? And have the VAs do the list pulling, the scrubbing, the skip tracing, all of that. Because I believe most people shouldn't actually be having a VA handle control of any type of negotiations, etc. Now, they can absolutely call a seller for data, meaning, why are you looking to sell? When are you looking to sell? But they're not doing any type of analysis, nothing. They're basically gathering data.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Yeah.
But even to that extent, do you feel like a lot of that is at risk with everything that's going on with the AI?
I think it comes down to the, 4 levers that I talked about too as well, because it always going to happen. Right now, we're in the era of content, the era of AI, the era of leveraging yourself through media and technology a lot.
Sure.
Like, look at what's happening with AI. I feel like more and more the minutia, day-to-day, simple tasks that we need to hire someone for that is going to disappear. We probably need to only hire one person to manage now these bots and AIs that do the day-to-day things at some point in our life, in our business career. At some point, we're going to have to learn how to leverage that too.
And I still think, I don't mean to totally interrupt you. There's still, in our space, there's got to be human interaction, right?
100%.
Bots can do the texting and do the emailing, that can be bot-driven. But even the data gathering, a homeowner is going to feel a lot more comfortable when they're talking to someone, answering why are they selling, when are they selling, where are they moving to, why are they selling now? Some of the general questions, which is just gathering data, and then can be handed over to more of an acquisition person. Can a bot do that? They can.
I feel like it's going to take so long to actually train let's call it an android, to actually understand empathy, understand people's needs or true constraints, or just that human side that It's more of the emotional side rather than the analytical, logistical side, which is what you as a human have. So if a bot is trained that way, it's because it has extraordinary abilities, and that could be, I think they call it general AI or something. There's a word towards that term. Is not only artificial intelligence, is called general intelligence or something like that. They know how to understand humans. And but up that point is where it's going to be, I think, a few years, could be closer than that.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that, like, in my opinion, VAs should be best utilized to handle a lot of the tasks
100%.
that have to be done by a human, by the way.
Yep.
And so there's always going to be a marketplace for that. Right?
100%. Look, if we ever get outcompeted by AI VAs, we will
It's a bigger discussion. Yeah.
we will also use AI VAs to leverage the VAs.
Have you seen the AI VA phone call?
100%. I just got my business partner just sent me a recording of a guy that sounds like a Texas guy, cold calling a homeowner and having a full
Is it
conversation.
any good? I've never heard of
It was decent. There's still like some sort of delay.
Of course.
There is, the bot has enthusiasm. The bot, can do different tonality and things like that, which is amazing, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Someone can change tonality based on the things that they're saying or what they're responding to. But I feel like that's going to work in conjunction with humans. There's no way that there's no way that AI or bot at this current time, at least in the next 10 years, is not going to work in conjunction with a human. I feel like it's going to increase the output of what a human can do and what we can do, and potentially have to hire less people, but still hire top 8 player, talent, rock star that is going to understand how to leverage this lever. But there's no way that a human can just an AI can just work by itself at this current moment.
What is your client database mostly hire your company for?
Right now, they're mostly hiring for specialist appointment setters, which are lead managers.
Okay.
So people that have the first conversations with the sellers, they essentially represent the company by having a discovery call, intro call, or follow-ups, nurtures, and then pass it on to the closers, which are usually our clients or their acquisition managers. And two high demand roles right now are executive assistants. So not just admin, but like executive assistants. So like they have a lot of project management experience, and they can not only help you with the day-to-day, and people that are essentially like a mini operations manager, and video editors.
Yeah.
Ryan Pineda hired us for video editors.
Nice.
And we gave him video editors. Eddie Malouf also did.
Nice.
Actually, Tiffany High hired us for lead managers, social media specialists, and a few other, like, she just hired like 4 roles.
That's great.
So far. It's great.
Yeah. Well, that is why I love VAs. I mean, I'm a big believer of keeping operational costs down. I don't believe people should be getting big offices, hiring a bunch of employees. I just did an episode on Entrepreneur DNA just about, the cost of running a 200-person team. It's a lot, right? But they were making somewhere between $30 to $40 million a year, which is a lot. But still, you have such a high operational cost that you have to start to ask yourself, where's kind of the bottom line number that is what I'm trying to make? So having a company like yours, a VA company, makes a lot of sense because you don't have to hire such expensive people or have a lot more people. You can do it in a way that creates good P&Ls, essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, and what's crazy is that, so we talked about this in another podcast, but people come in here with the high intensity, the emotion of working for a U.S. company, for an American that is giving them the opportunity to get paid in the U.S. dollars. They want to achieve more. They want to show up. They want to show that, let's say I'm a Mexican, even though I cannot move to the U.S. or for some reason, or I got kicked out of the U.S., I still want to provide my value and show up as this Latin American professional that can help your business. And they're gonna care when you paint them the right North Star and you give them the leadership that they require, you will see how they're gonna run
laps
around.
I agree.
Yes,
I tend to agree.
Right now, for example, we're testing different things because I'm Latino myself, and I work with Mexicans in Detroit because they're high-level engineers. One of them used to be my manager, and also work with different multicultural, just multiculturally savvy. Let's say in Toronto, there's a lot of people from around the different world, and so I learned to live with people around the world and different cultures, immigrants. So I'm doing a test of how someone that is a leader or some sort of manager can do that role remotely, let's say from Colombia, from Mexico, and I can just say, I trust you. I don't have to pay you $80,000, $100,000, but I can pay you 30, 40% of that because you have the capabilities, you can do it, you have the capacity of doing it, and you're going to live like a queen or a king.
Yeah.
And you're going to help me run this business. And also in testing, like, I'm going to hire you because you have the sales acumen, you have the character traits to be a salesperson. And I'm testing right now hiring closers from Latin America to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's a lot of people that used to live here in the U.S. that they got kicked out for some reason. You know, their residency got terminated, they got deported, something happened, they had to go back. It's sad to talk about these things, but they learned English, they learned the culture, and then they go back to the grind in Colombia, Latin America, and they're looking for this type of opportunity, right? Or even people that never came to the U.S., people that never had the chance to even get a visa to here, but they learn English by themselves. They watch everything American-wise. They have American friends online or whenever Americans visit Latin American countries. And they are so culturally adapted to us. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, you never stepped.
Work ethic.
Yeah, and they have the work ethic. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do higher level things.
Yeah.
This is what I said to myself. It's working. Dude, one of our closers, he lives in Medellin, Colombia. He's closed so far this month. I don't remember exactly what the amount of revenue he generated, but he's generated around $45,000 in revenue. He's closed maybe about 6 to 7 deals, and he's just getting started as a closer. And like, he was just an appointment setter before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was so hungry about wanting more commissions and closing more and giving more value. Be like, dude, all right, I'm going to put you through this training. I want you to watch Jeremy Minor. I want you to watch Cole Gordon. I want you to watch Jordan Belfort. Read Never Split the Difference.
Yeah.
Show me that I can trust you closing deals.
Yep.
Dude, so far, it's showing that it's working.
That's great.
It's closing deals. And as a matter of fact, he came from I don't know, do you know Nick Berry?
I do.
He came from, Nick Berry ran ads in Colombia to hire closers.
Yeah.
He had a lot of people, had to go through a lot of interviews, and then something happened with him. He had to move back to Cancun. He had something in his heart. And so he had to give those applicants to others and give them to us because we help people get jobs.
Of course.
So he found that person is closing hundreds of thousands of dollars for us every quarter.
For sure.
From Colombia, and people are missing out on this opportunity.
And so you're about to add that to
Yes,
your Rolodex of what you deliver.
100%. We've already done it.
Yeah.
We don't want to like put it out there too much because in order to find a good closer, they have to obviously have the character traits to be a great sales individual, like empathy and being able to work hard, have conviction on your product, the skills of selling, being coachable, and you can just find that in a human.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it is. But the biggest part is the English needs to be impeccable. or in a way that they can really relate to Americans that are surrounded by Latinos. Like you said it yourself, for example, Florida, Michigan, Arizona, Texas, California, tons of...
Funny you say Michigan. I don't really ever think of Michigan as having a lot of Latinos.
Dude, did you know that Detroit, because I lived in Detroit.
Okay.
It's so many Mexicans.
I didn't know that.
Dude, Detroit...
I never would have thought that.
The automotive industry is highly dependable of Mexico.
That makes a lot of sense.
Assembly plants, manufacturing plants, engineers.
Yeah.
Dude, highly dependable of Mexico. Just I don't know if you know about the news, but like Elon Musk literally is building a Tesla plant in Monterrey, plus GM has one, Ford has one. All these people have in Monterrey, Mexico, because they know that they can get way more
workers for cheaper.
work.
I get it.
Also for cheaper, but also high level of education, high level skill.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it happened. You know?
So obviously you're here for a reason. Where can people find you? There's two companies we talked about. One talks about generating motivated sellers, Hustle Media. Where can they find that?
Yeah. So motivatedselleronline.com is something you can type in Google and you're going to find us. We're a company called Hustle Media. All right. So we started with the hustle mentality and we realized you really need to build a real business, become a real REIpreneur.
Yeah.
REIpreneur, right? So you're going to find us in social media. My Instagram is @Estenic. And actually we have a YouTube channel that I'm putting everything that I know about business for free. Everything that I know about, growing a business, hiring team members.
Where's that?
Learning.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's called Esteban Andrade, REI Marketing and Conversion. But it's also @Estenic. You can also find my
ESTENICK.
ESTENICK.
Like it.
That's my first name and middle name.
Love it.
And the other one is called Remote Latinos. That one is it's gonna become a huge marketplace where you can find your Esteban, your Juan, your Maria, and all these people are A players.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna be qualified by our humans.
Yeah.
And also pre-qualified by our bots.
Nice.
And we're gonna be putting it into a marketplace. It's gonna help you match. It's kind of like a Tinder on steroids for workers in Latin America that want to match with businesses in the U.S. And we're going towards the real estate space, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go deep.
All right.
It's exciting.
Make sure to get him on Instagram, go to the websites, and go to his YouTube. Check out both of those companies. If you need seller leads and you need people working those leads, Esteban has them all. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, brother.
Right on, dude. All right, y'all. That's it for the episode. See you on the next one. Peace.